What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today. How y'all doing?
So good, baby. How about you? You good?
We're doing good. All right, well, it's good to see you guys, man. Welcome to Lapeef Sunday. Before we get the show started, man, shout out to the chat. I see Dale Matthews in the house. Christopher Matthews, dedicated to my children, gifted 5 Lapeef Network memberships. Thank you for that. Champ Talks Reactions. Everybody is coming in. Angela Swift, Smooth Kenny. Welcome. All right, y'all. Let's go and get this show started. Y'all ready? Susie, you there? Sound check.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Brown Sugar, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, let's go get this show started, man. I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip and we're gonna go ahead and react to it.
That men are demonized for having standards. I personally believe that it's not the fact that y'all have standards or preferences even. A lot of men believe that if a woman is not their type, that she shouldn't be anybody else's type. Mm-hmm. And it ultimately goes down to, if I'm not attracted to this woman, then that must mean nobody else should be attracted to her. And that's why you have so many men speaking on women they would never date.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, I wouldn't be in alignment with you, but I'm always the topic of your conversation to a point. Mm-hmm. How many times men say they won't date single mothers, but always talking about us? Mm. How many times women say they won't date a short man, but always talking about them? Mm. I don't like a man who makes a certain amount of money. I don't like this. I don't like that. It's not that y'all have standards or preferences. It's that y'all believe that if someone does not fit your standard or preference, that they are not worthy of love from anybody.
No.
And then that's where the problem comes in.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Some men think that if a woman isn't his type, she shouldn't be anyone else's type. Go ahead and start with you first, Louise.
I think he froze up.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm like freezing up for a second. Give me a moment.
All right.
Go with somebody else.
I don't know. All right. Repeat the question one more time. If a woman is not your type, you would never date her. You're saying that we often speak about women we wouldn't date?
True or false? Some men think that if a woman isn't his type, she shouldn't be anyone else's type.
I think that's false. I think that's false. I mean, I honestly appreciate guys being attracted to women that I'm not attracted to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of husky, so I don't date plus size women. I just don't like the idea of it. It just doesn't work for me. So I appreciate when I have homeboys that just love them. I personally have homeboys that love plus size women. And I appreciate that because I don't have to feel bad about, they're not being a market or somebody not being into them. I have homeboys that love them. So I'm glad for that because I generally like slimmies, so that's a good thing. So I'm sure there are cases where that exists, like online, where, you have guys speaking on like IG model types or whatever like that. But in reality, they probably wouldn't date some of them. But I think like in my case, my experience, big women know a lot of guys that like them and they're not my type. They're not my preference.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Luis, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So I want to unpack something real quick. Standards and preferences. Standards, values, morals, while preferences are more
We
like
really
likes and
can't
dislikes. So
understand you, or at least I can't.
Yes.
I can't really hear you. You chopped and screwed right now.
Yeah. I know. It sucks. Go ahead, Brown Sugar.
I do believe that there is a group of people, men and women, that put people in a box, and if they have a certain type of preference or if they have a certain type of outlook, then they will put them in a box and just deem them as just unattractable or unvalued or unworthy of love or any type of relationship. I hear it all the time. I mean, in the world of podcasts, we hear these things all the time. But I do agree that if you have your preferences, you have your types, and you are, you have the right to have a preference and a type, but don't spend too much time speaking on those that aren't your type. And it's a lot of men and women that focus or they voice these opinions on men or women who they wouldn't um who they wouldn't date, but yet that is mostly the topic of their conversation. So I do see that a lot. But everybody has a right to have their type.
All right. Go ahead, Shamonay.
I agree. We all see it. I don't think we necessarily see it in real life. I think we see it a lot in these YouTube spaces, right? People are overemphasizing what they don't like. Oh, you're big, you're big, you're big. Or, oh, you're this, you're short, you're short. Like, I think that there is in the YouTube space. I want to clarify because I don't think this really necessarily happens outside of YouTube. But in the YouTube space, what I found is misery loves company, right? I think that people get a kick, some kind of drive from belittling other people, making them feel bad, I guess, because you're so miserable with your life. I don't know what's going on in your life that you feel like you got to knock another person down. You just emphasize and try to make them feel really bad about themselves. But it's so toxic up in here. People just hating on other people. And when you see them, you like, really? It's horrible. and it goes back to just I don't know what it is nowadays. People will they get a kick out of just making other people feel bad about themselves. Okay, she likes to eat. Okay, and you like to do other things that you probably shouldn't do, right? It just doesn't show like it shows that she likes to eat. And it's just crazy. People can't help their height. They can't help how they look. But let me just say this. Let's talk about them pockets. Once you say something about their pockets, that's when they turn like, you can't say that. Their ball stops right here. You're the devil. You know? So I don't understand. It's just people just I don't get this space. I don't understand it. But yes, I do see it around here.
Okay. Go ahead, Luis.
All right, now I'm back at the technical difficulties.
Sounded good.
Yeah, great. Sorry about that. So standards versus values, preferences. So standards are values and morals, and while preferences are like likes and dislikes. What tends to happen in the context in which she's presenting is that people understand what they're attracted to and understand what they want. But what happens is that they find themselves swimming in around in the pool of people who they're not necessarily attractive, or they feel that meets their standard or their requirements. So those individuals tend to punch down. They tend to punch down at the guy who is shorter, punch down at the guy who isn't making as much, or as the guy who isn't as attractive, or the gentleman who is, talking about women who might not be their size preference. Individuals who tend to kind of punch down at the opposite sex is because those individuals are not really acquiring or getting what they want. Because if you're getting what you want and you're attracting what you want, you want to spend time talking about people who you're not attracted to and who you don't like. You understand who you are inherently, embrace that. And if you're attracted to someone, live within that truth, right? And try to, put yourself in situations where you're congregating around people that you find attractive and that you want to, engage in further conversation. But talking about people that you don't find desirable for yourself, and you got to talk down about them or bring them up constantly, is your ability to punch down at people who you're not attracted to, you're qualified for, because unfortunately, you're not getting the results that you want. Solemnly, people who are getting the results that they want, they're not talking about the things that, that they're not getting. When people are winning, they don't talk about losing, right? Especially in life. And in this dating context, people are getting what they want. They're attracting what they want. So they're always on a high vibration, talking about the things that they want to attract and they're attracting in their life. But a lot of people, unfortunately, like to punch down, because unfortunately that's what they run into more often than not, and they don't want to clearly admit that. So
So you think that's psychological, like they're trying to punch down so that you can, like, so for example, if you come down on a person who's overweight, you're hoping that that'll influence them to lose weight, to be.
Yeah. You ever seen guys who run into women who are very either conservative or very modest? They'll try to make very suggestive comments like, "Oh, she's too this, she's too that." People tend to do that to make people try to lower their guard or bring down the veil, because they don't have access to them, or they understand that there's a higher hurdle of access, unfortunately. So when people tend to punch down, it's them making comments about people that they're not necessarily attracted to, or that they're attracted to, but they just can't access because they understand that they're not really in alignment with them.
All right, I'm gonna play the video one more time, and then I'm gonna go to Susie.
Men are demonized for having standards. I personally believe that it's not the fact that y'all have standards or preferences even. A lot of men believe that if a woman is not their type, that she shouldn't be anybody else's type. Mm-hmm. And it ultimately goes down to, if I'm not attracted to this woman, then that must mean nobody else should be attracted to her. And that's why you have so many men speaking on women they would never date. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, I wouldn't be in alignment with you, but I'm always the topic of your conversation to a point. Mm-hmm. How many times men say they won't date single mothers, but always talking about us? Mm. How many times women say they won't date a short man, but always talking about them? I don't like a man who makes a certain amount of money. I don't like this. I don't like that. It's not that y'all have standards or preferences. It's that y'all believe that if someone does not fit your standard or preference, that they are not worthy of love from anybody.
No.
And then that's where the problem
that's not
comes
what I'm
in.
saying at all.
All right, go ahead, Susie. What are your thoughts? Some men think that if a woman isn't his type, she shouldn't be anyone else's type.
I see what she's saying to a point. I would really hope that at this day and age that we are all grown enough to deal with what we like and don't when we don't. You know what I mean? I do see how a lot of people do speak on things that they don't like, and I feel like it's more of a them wanting to kind of make their self seem like they're in a higher position or seem like they're better, or I don't really like this person and this is this and this is this and be like me. You know what I mean? Because that's what social media is. Like, you want to live the type of life that I'm living. So they speak on things that they shouldn't, but is it because of I'm sorry. I don't know. I see what she's saying, but I don't think it's really to that point. I think that people just kind of, they do it to make themselves seem bigger, not because they want you to not like that certain type of person that they not feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Weird energy.
The part that I don't agree with the comment that she made, I understand where she's coming from, but the part that I don't agree with, because if there's a woman that I find that I don't necessarily find attractive for me, or she's not really my preference, but she might be Jay, a story tells preference, right? That's probably Jay's dream girl right there. Might necessarily not be mine. I'm not going to punch down if that man has it lean in a shot to talk to that woman that's more of his preference. I just move out the way. You know what I'm saying? Let people, like, I don't, that's the part that I didn't really agree with, that, you know what I'm saying? If I don't find her attractive or I don't like her, that no man should or they wouldn't. Like, I think that's a little bit dicey.
Exactly. And I agree with you on that. But I think what she's saying is people do it anyway. Like, you wouldn't do that. Obviously, you just said you wouldn't do that, but other people do. And that's the part that she's saying, like, people tend to feel like if they don't find someone attractive, then nobody should find them attractive. I don't think it should be that way, but it's a fact. People do that. So it's weird, but it happens.
I literally just experienced that. There was a guy that reached out to me. I'm a single mom, throw that out there. And we were having a conversation, and he, like, the way he spoke down on single mothers and the things that they should just settle for. And then I found out that he dated another single mom, had 3 kids by the same man. But in his eyes, single mothers are just unworthy. They need to settle for polygamy. That's a whole different type of conversation. But, like, he boxed single women to be undesirable, or single mothers, sorry, to be undesirable, and that was how all men thought. So yeah, I mean, it's very weird. I don't really see, I think there's like a small population of people that do that, but it's definitely something that happens.
Okay, go ahead, Aisha. Go ahead, Louis.
Did that gentleman have children himself? Did that gentleman have children himself?
No.
Okay.
And I mean, I get what he was saying, but the way it came across, because I mean, I can understand a man who doesn't have kids, they wouldn't want to date a woman with kids, and vice versa. I understand that, but to speak so downly on that, and then I find out that you dated someone that had kids, that had 3 kids by the same man, and then you reach out to me knowing that I have a child, is just like, and then he tried to throw it in like, I'm not talking about you, and it's like, no, you're talking about me. Don't try to throw dirt and then hide your hand, like, no, you're talking about me. So but I think, just like what Susie said, I think people in that, people who communicate in that way, I think they just say things to make themselves feel higher. I think it's just a way to like gain control of the environment, or of another person. Manipulation, in a sense.
Agree.
All right, go ahead, Aisha.
I agree with the ladies because I have been in a situation where I've talked to a guy and he was like, he despised ghetto women, like can't stand them, don't want to be around them, don't like aggressive ghetto women. And he happened to have friends that liked those type of women, and he was always like talking about the women, oh, he needs to date this type of woman, or I'm gonna take him here so he can meet women that are on, high valued women, because he shouldn't be dating a girl that's this, and this. And I would be like, but that's what he like, and that doesn't make her a bad person. And I feel like that to a degree is like, I'm up here, she's down here, and we shouldn't be engaging. Nobody should be engaging. My friends, we shouldn't just be engaging in anything that has to do with these ghetto Black women. Like, I have had personal experiences where men are like, stay away from these type of people. And so it is weird to say the least. But I've seen it. I've seen where they're like, he only date ghetto women. I'm going to take him up north or something so he can find women that he should be with. So it happens.
Where do you feel that comes from?
I feel that comes from life experiences. I feel that comes from, his mom, his aunties, the women that he were around. He didn't see any value in the way they acted. Like he didn't have good experiences from being around those type of women. So, essentially he's like, that's off limits to me because I have bad experiences. I don't like it. And, it is, I think that's where it comes from. Like the experiences he's had with these type of women in their lives or whatever. But I've had bad experiences, and those aren't my thoughts. I think that people should love who they want to love, and that's not anyone's choice. And I think that people spend too much time discussing it. Like, let people love who they want to love. I don't know why everything has to be, a thesis. Like, let them love who they love.
Yeah, I think at a certain age, that may be a problem for some people as far as talking down on what you don't like, or, maybe at a certain age you do that just out of immaturity. But I think once you get older, you learn to appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, as a younger person, I remember me and my friends having the same type, and that shit being a pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Because you got us liking this one girl. It could be 5 of them, but we all focus on this one because that's quote unquote all of our types. And now you got to go through the whole who gonna get her, you double crossing each other, dirty macking in some cases. And you know what I'm saying, it's ugly. So it's good when people have certain preferences, and that's what they deal with. Just like I mentioned earlier about, bigger women not being my preference. I've dated bigger women, but if I had to pick, if I had a preference, that wouldn't be my choice. So, and then vice versa. Like me saying that I'm, kind of on the thicker side, on the husky side, they were women where I was their preference. So, my skinny or homeboys or whatever, when she came around and, they thought that they was like, nah, nigga, I fall back. And she like husky. So y'all gonna fall back because I'm her preference now. So get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So you appreciate it. Not everybody want to rest their head on a 6-pack,
Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, I disagree with y'all because let's say this, and the reason why is because we act like there's not those individuals that they're talking about that are bad for people. I wouldn't sit there and say, my buddy said, yeah, I like a woman a little sassy, talk back to me. I said, dog, that's not what you want. You've seen situations when that woman talked back to you, got in your face, tried you to the point she was ready to swing on you. I wouldn't encourage nobody to date a woman like that. Yes, I will talk down to if a woman was a volatile woman or abusive type woman or a woman who's I would definitely do that. I wouldn't want nobody. If it was a man doing that to you, I wouldn't encourage you. Yeah, date this man. Yeah, he's volatile. That's okay. Go on, date him anyway. I know that's what you like. No, I wouldn't do that. So we can't sit there and say we would tell our sons or our daughters, yeah, I wouldn't date. No, we can't do that. Now, I think Brown Sugar was talking about the single mother thing. Look, there's nothing wrong with warning a man maybe who doesn't have kids about the situations, because it's not easy to date a woman with kids, right? You're not only dealing with a personality of hers, you got to deal with the kid's personality, or how many every kid she got. She got multiple. But then you have to also deal with the personality of the father of the kid, because he's going to be some type of influence if he's around, if he's in the kid's life. So you always have to say, hey, not all of them are bad, not all of them are this, but these are the things you might need to be aware of, or you need to be aware of, the things you may need to look out for. Or if you was a baby father and you are dating a woman who then had you will want somebody to educate you, teach you, and tell you certain things. So I can't sit there and say, I agree with what she's saying, is talking about you don't want nobody to talk about somebody because that's not your preference. No. If you know something, please let me know. I don't want to have to make the same mistakes that you make just to learn. We do that with our kids. Oh, well, the kids just need to learn. No, why did your kids need to fall off the trampoline 4 or 5 times before they learn the lesson? How about you educate them, teach them? Maybe this way you may not want to be more careful about doing certain things so you don't have to suffer those consequences. Now, if you tell them and they still want to do it, then let them fall. I understand. But I'd rather teach them, show them, educate them, learn them before they actually involve themselves in situations. That's just my opinion.
I agree with.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. So I feel like a violent person, that's obvious. I mean, no one in their right mind would say, yeah, go with the person that just smacked you upside your head, or cursed you out. I mean, that's obvious. But I mean, like Jay was saying, chubby, 6-pack, athletic, these are all surface things that people box people into, and then just automatically say, well, because you're short, no one's gonna date you. That is what is the word that I'm looking for? Can't think of the word, but I mean,
visual versus character.
We can go with that. I wasn't searching for that, but we can go with that. But I mean, like, someone that's being violent, that's obvious. No one would tell someone to go with the person that's being violent to them. Domestic violence. No, we're not promoting domestic violence in any way. Now, when it comes to going back to the single mother thing, I get that people have their preferences, but when you know what you don't like, it's very weird that you reach out to those individuals that you don't like and then continue to speak down on them. That's weird. If you don't like them, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Don't waste my time, and essentially don't waste yours when you already know. That's the problem.
So I wanted to address both of those. I think I absolutely agree with what you're saying, but I think that's the thing. We can sit here, we can't put everybody in the same group. For example, if you don't mind being a stepfather, there are certain people you want to be a stepfather to, right? You might want to make sure, give them good pointers, like make sure the kids are disciplined, they are respectful kids, right? You want to make sure that the daddies or the mamas not crazy, the co-parenting situation isn't crazy and parent. It's okay to give people heads up on situations, but that's not what's happening. People are just making a blanket statement like, don't date single moms. Like all single moms are in this ghetto ass situation where they're not co-parenting right, and they're not sophisticated individuals when in actuality, that's not everybody's story, right? So I think that that's the difference. You always want to give people a heads up, but it's a case by case situation, right? As far as Brown, that is an issue. Like, again, y'all talking about single moms, then why are you dating them? Why are you going out with them? You should just leave them alone. When you talk about when they women who are educated, somebody educated, then leave them alone. Stop talking about them. Just leave them alone. Don't date them. If you don't want them, don't date them. If I know I don't date men under 5'4", why would I talk about them? Like, I'm talking about the men I want. I'm not going to waste time on the men I don't want, right? Like, it's just really weird to me. Like, don't beat those people in the ground. They can't help their situation. Just talk about you and what you're going to do and all that kind of stuff. That's my only thing. But giving people heads up on certain situations, I have no problem. I think that that's smart.
So did we realize we got whole shows dedicated to these type of things you're talking about? Kendra G does that on a regular basis, deals with that. They got a Pop the Balloon show. They talk about stuff they don't want, but they will talk about these same divisions. I don't want a broke man. I don't want a man who doesn't make this much money or that much money. I don't want a short man.
And we're talking about them too. Oh, go ahead. So they're in that bucket of people we're talking about. I agree with you.
So, but we act like this is not true. And to say it's obvious nobody wants a volatile man. No, it's not obvious. Because you have women who continue to go back to volatile men because they supposedly in love with a man. So we can't sit there and say, oh, it's obvious. No, it's not obvious. At one time, some of these younger ladies talk about they like a thug man. They want a rough guy, a roughneck. We can't act like that wasn't a thing for younger women in their teens and their early 20s because they did it. And unfortunately, someone was their baby daddies, and they now regret that they had baby kids by these roughnecks, these thugs that they used to like when they was young and didn't know no better. So can't act like that's not a thing, because it is. So those type of things you got to make sure you're aware of. Now, if somebody's warning somebody or speaking about baby mama, now if they give explanation behind it and not just say, just don't date baby mamas just in general, that sounds generic. Now, if you give me a reason why, well, this is the reason why I wouldn't do it. Okay, now I can accept that. Now I want to hear why you wouldn't do it. Now I have to put that into my database and figure out, is that something I could deal with? Is that something I could tolerate? Is that something I can accept? If it's not, then I won't do it. If it is, then I move forward.
Agreed.
I did want to bring this up because Mr. Lego did comment on this actual video, and he said, this is the problem with the red pill cornballs. They look to separate women from everybody. So she's alone, so he can double back after you drop your standards, so you can be with the same guy who you said he wouldn't date you.
My point exactly, JR. I said it at the top of the hour.
Yep, agreed.
It's just a way to lower the barrier of access. That's really what it's about. This is why certain people punch down.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, it's almost like a updated version of you being mean to the girl in school that you liked. You know what I mean? It's almost like a modern version of that, or a grown-up version of that. Like, I'm gonna beat you down so that you're where I need you to be, to where I feel comfortable with dealing with you, or you see me in a different light because I've repositioned you below me, so to speak. It's kind of like the modern,
it's a way to gain control.
Yeah.
Now, I do think that there's a thing. So I think that you making people feel bad when it comes to dating is one thing. There's another thing when you're saying, okay, you need to carry yourself a certain way. You got to have some decorum about yourself, right? Like when we talk about people who wear bonnets in the airport, to me, that's two very different things. You control that. You can control that bonnet you got on. Take that thing off. So I think that there's two very different situations or different conversations, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? It's a way to talk about things because they should be shamed in the community, right? But when you're shaming a person of something that they can't change at this point, like that's totally different. Like I'm not gonna shame a handicapped person. They can't help their handicap. Like, come on.
All right.
Can't be reversed.
Let me ask you a question, Shan. How would you put yourself in a man's shoes for a second?
Sure.
How would you approach a woman that for the past 350 days she's been told that she's beautiful and she's the shit and you fine and someone that's had their head just blown to the heavens for the past, let's say, however long?
Okay.
How would you attempt to be different and approach them, or how would you deal with them?
I would talk about something else. I mean, there's something, obviously, I would hope that there's something more than beauty about this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would hope.
Get to know her.
Huh?
You would hope.
If not, then what's the point? Beauty is just like, so you just look into a beautiful wall and you can't talk to it. It's just a beautiful wall.
It's just there.
Like that's when it has to be some substance there. There has to be something else besides beauty that, would make this person attractive. Like I can see a handsome man and then if he starts talking and then they'll just throw everything off. Like, don't talk. Wah, 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 wah. Or like that dude, did y'all see that clip with that guy? He was talking about he high value because he 6 foot, whatever. Yes. And then you're like, you just messed it up by talking about yourself. Who calls themselves high value? Let somebody else call you that. Height. Like, well, you just made you so unattractive. And I think it should be the same situation. Just because she's beautiful, okay, what else?
Because I think a lot of times what we see, or a lot of times what I think it is that guys fighting with the idea of what this woman has been dealing with, or who said something to her, how many people said something to her. I think a lot of times they're dealing with that. So a lot of times it comes across as a person trying to bring you down or pull you down. Well, a lot of us say in our lives, we don't like to get big-headed, so we keep people around us to keep us grounded. So in the dating market, if you're dealing with somebody who you think that all they've heard is great things, how do you keep a person like that grounded? How do you take them out of what everybody else has just escalated them to be?
I think the right type of woman would appreciate that, though.
Honestly. But appreciate what, though? Like what do you think?
If you like tell them something like outside of the norm, especially if it's something to like help them grow or like build them up. Because I mean, calling me beautiful every day is not gonna help me grow. So if you come and be like, and you point out something that might be flawed, and say, this is, I see this. It's all about it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. But if you come at someone and say, point out something that they might be flawed in and throw out solutions with that too, I think the right type of woman would appreciate that.
Now
you're seeing past the beauty.
We get villainized for that. You see what I'm saying?
Ew,
like
seriously?
what you just said. What you just said is exactly how a lot of us move. Point out something that's flawed. We get villainized for that. Oh, you got to break somebody down to build yourself up, or you ain't no real man. Stuff like that is said, but psychologically in our head, it's like how you approaching or how you dealing with somebody that's heard nothing but seen nothing but grand gestures, heard all positive things, has never had any reality,
Right.
you know.
I mean, that's probably just somebody who just wouldn't want to be in your circle. I mean, it comes down to like the spoiled child syndrome. If they know nothing but getting what they want, and then here you come taking everything away from them, they're gonna villainize you. So I think it just depends on where that person is in their life. If they're like mature or experienced some type of real life experiences, that they can be open to. I mean, just because you pretty or beautiful doesn't mean you're flawed. So I mean, you have to at some point come to some type of, you have to know who you are, and that includes flaws and all. So I mean, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
but that
go ahead.
go ahead.
I think that it's more about moving with intention. Okay. Like if this is someone that you are dealing with, someone that you are focused on, someone that you care about, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're beautiful, but this is what, like, how about like, let's do this, let's try this, let's move this direction. You know what I mean? Like it will come across differently than some random person telling you, okay, you cute, but your nails ain't ever done. You know what I mean? Like it comes across different based off who's telling it to you. So for a man, if he's trying to approach a woman, and yeah, she might hear she's beautiful every day of the year, but if you have no intention on being with her, or y'all not together, then you don't have any ground to stand on to tell her, but you're fucked up in this situation, or this is crazy about you, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. I don't know if I curse on here, but like you don't have any ground to stand on, so she's not gonna hear that, and that's what makes you look like a villain. But if it's coming from someone that she respects, or like y'all in a relationship, or y'all have that type of grounding, it's gonna be different. The approach will be different. She's gonna listen to what you're saying. I don't listen to what people say on the internet, because it's like, I don't even know y'all. Y'all go to hell. You know what I'm saying? But if my sister or my cousin or my mom said it, okay, maybe this is something I need to work on. It's gonna come across differently. So it depends on your intentions. Like, are you saying this because you want to bring her down, or are you saying this because you're really trying to better this person? You know what I mean? Like, what's
So
your intent behind it?
how would you be able to decipher whether it's a good intention or a bad intention? Because I feel like your mom, your sister, your cousin, those are all women. So then what about the men? And how would you be able to determine who's saying something with good intention or not?
It's okay. No, I'm sorry. I have a lot of cousins.
Okay.
Some of them are
That was
men.
my question.
but I so I'm around men all the time. And again, it's because of, for example, if my cousin came to me and was like, when you drink tequila, you get a little, I don't know if that might not be smart for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might sit back and be like, yeah, okay, maybe I shouldn't be drinking tequila, right? I get a little crazy. But if some random guy in a party was like, bitch, what's wrong with you? You I go, hold on, nigga, like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna come across different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on your intention behind it and how you say it.
So if it
It's
was a
gonna
random
determine.
man, sorry.
Go ahead.
So if it was a random man that approached you with ease, some type of sensitivity, you would be open to that. But if they come off like rah rah rah, just like with anybody, if you yelling at me, I'm not listening anymore. So if he comes up to you and it's like you feel the energy type thing, it's like you'll take heed to what he's saying. Okay, I understand that.
We're gonna go ahead and switch gears. I appreciate you guys' perspectives. We do have a few super chats. Caesar's Palace, $5 says, shout out to Bro Hink and had a good debate with Mrs. Shan. Salute to both of you guys. Just my 4 cents, $5 says, my dad always said, there's no pussy in the junkyard. Somebody will always want it. To this day, I have yet to find P in the junkyard. And lastly, Caesar's Palace, $10 says, I never heard a man say, a woman shouldn't be with any guy. Most men say you can't get the type of men you want with 4 kids or being 200 pounds overweight. Men said an average woman should get with an average man. I thank everybody has contributed to the platform. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, speaking of pop the balloon, we did have two contestants that was on there. You know, Arletta does her after show. It was interesting dialogue. So I'm gonna play a little bit, get a couple people who respond, play a little bit more, and kind of work it that way. Here we go.
Balloon or Find Love, where you guys ended up matching. All right. Okay, so my final question, is it a yes for you for her?
For sure.
Is it a yes for you for him?
Yes,
We got a match! All right, I'll take this mic and you guys can go on up. Yes! And so, you know, obviously on the show, we saw there were, you know, quite a few comments about this, that, and the third. And, you know, you guys went down the line, got to meet a few different people, and we got to know a little bit about each of you. But, you know, if you want to just let us know a little bit more, Ramon, we could start with you.
Yes, my name is Ramon. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, currently living in Scottsdale, Arizona. I own Triple R Detailing in Indiana, and then I also own Mila Properties here in Scottsdale, and then Kiss Gang Motorsports as well here in Scottsdale. So,
Okay, nice. A whole entrepreneur.
yeah, got to in today's economy. For
Yeah,
sure.
definitely, definitely. And then what about for you, Alicia?
So my name's Alicia. I'm from Washington State originally. I've lived in Arizona for a couple years.
Nice.
I go to school for marketing at ASU. Yeah.
Okay.
And I do content creating, of course.
Nice. So yeah, speaking of content creating, so on the show, one of the comments from one of the guys in the lineup was he was like, content creator, I wasn't sure what to think about that. And he kind of said he thought adult entertainer.
Yes.
What was going through your mind when he said that? Because you were like, wait, what? Like,
Honestly, I thought that was kind of funny. If you're saying that, are you telling me I'm your type? Or like, what are you getting at? A lot of people thought it was really offensive. Me, I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about is the real question. That was my question. But I didn't take it any type of way because I know what kind of content I put out and what I'm doing. So
yeah. And
I
then
don't mind.
another one of the other concerns was like, oh, he popped on you because he was like, I don't think you have a real job.
Yes, I thought that was odd. But honestly, I thought, you know, one thing about me, I don't have to tell everybody all my sources of income, but I am a veteran. So it's like I'm getting paid to go to school. It's the
Right.
big ticket there. It's like,
Nice.
hello, I didn't have to sit there and itemize all my bills. But yeah.
Good. We're glad you got that out.
Yes.
And then Ramon, for you, you're 6'3", right? But you were actually called shorter on the show.
It's the first time for everything.
Imagine.
Yeah. Everybody at home and that I know was like, man, that's crazy.
We're like, we get 6'5" is the
Everybody
new.
been hitting me up like, what's up, Too Short? I'm like, wow, damn, I got a whole new name, Too Short. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know that one was really different. I was like, what? I think you were actually one of like the taller guys in the lineup. Like,
Yeah, and then the guy next to me was 6'5", and she said she dates guys
About
6'5" or
his height.
taller. And it
Yeah.
was like, okay, so what's up with him then? You know,
Never
so it was
know.
kind of awkward.
yeah. Okay, well, kind of to get into the juicy part that everybody waits to hear about, since you guys ended up.
Yeah, before we get into that, let me ask you guys about content creators. Somebody says they're content creators. Is that a red flag? Are you guys with it?
People need to clarify. It's very important that people today, in the age of social media, in the age of OnlyFans, in the age of video creation, etc., you specify what type of content creator. If I went to school for finance and I create content about financial literacy, teaching people how to save money, how to invest, teaching people other vehicles of saving for their children's college fund, etc., then I would say I am a content creator based on, finances. I'm a content creator, focus on health and beauty, etc. Specify what type of content creation you are, because what happens is that when you just say content creator, and you're a woman and you look good, it wouldn't behoove you to pass the thought that you might potentially be on OnlyFans. I'm just saying, like, we are in that age. You use your words carefully and articulate yourself. I am a content creator who focuses on X, Y, and Z. Got you. That's it. But just saying content creators doesn't communicate anything to me or anybody else for that matter. How are you?
Yeah,
So we'll go ahead and play
that's
that more video. Susie, what's wrong? You see you frowning up at Louis.
No, I'm listening. I'm good. I'm taking it in. I personally don't think that I would.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't specify because it's not your business. Like if I say you ask me what I do and I say I'm a content creator, like that's just what it is. Now, if you assume that because I'm a pretty girl, it got to be OnlyFans, like, well, then why are you talking to me? You know what I mean? Like, what's the approach for? Like, I shouldn't have to tell you that. You get to know me and figure it out, or leave me alone. Because if you just assume it's because that's weird. Like I wouldn't know. Like, don't talk to me there.
I disagree with that. I think if you present that, say if you do something else and you mention content create, because everybody has a different interpretation of, you know what I mean? It's not to necessarily judge you, but something clicks in your head when people say I'm a content creator. There's a million different things. So for you to have to specify, I don't think that's necessarily a problem, or I don't think it's a bad thing that you have to specify. I don't think it's a bad thing for you to give clarification of that. Some people can hear content create and literally think unemployed. Oh, this nigga's unemployed. You know, he's creating content. Is he paid for it? Is it a lifestyle? Is this his second hustle? Is it a, you know what I mean? There's a million different things that can pop in your head. Like if we were sitting across from each other in a restaurant and, you know, I content create, what would be the first thing that popped in your head? Me and you, one-on-one. I said, yeah, I content create.
I would probably ask to see some of your work.
That's specification. And I wouldn't take offense to you asking that because it's such a broad spectrum. Like if we said something that's more micro, you know, like Louis said, I work in finance or accounting or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's already kind of condensed. You know, it's a niche market, but content creation could be a million different things. So I don't think anything's wrong with that. Me personally.
But Jay, what if she told you that you took the same approach as she did? That's none of your business. You need to figure it out. Because that's what she just said. Goddamn business. You figured. Ain't that what you said?
No, what I'm saying is the assumption. If I was to say, yes, I'm a content creator, and then I didn't go into detail, but the man will automatically assume, oh, well, shit, all she said was content creation. She must be doing OnlyFans. Like, wait a minute, like, no, that's you have to ask those questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, but the initial assumptions is crazy. And if you move off those initial assumptions without getting to the source of it, is what's weird. Like that, I think that's weird to assume that a pretty girl, if she says she's a content creator, that means she's doing OnlyFans. No, ask the questions. You can ask the questions, but don't just assume. Like that's what I think is crazy.
But that's what he did ask a question. Let's say you need to figure it out. So why do I need to figure out?
If you ask the question up front, and if it's all about getting to know you, why not just be upfront with it? Why does it feel like I have to pick to get answers from you? I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, just to like a blanket statement, because somebody just might not genuinely care to know what you do. They might just want to have like a practical surface level conversation with no true intentions of going deeper. But it's no problem with even with those type of people. Yeah, I create content in financial literacy. Like it's no problem with just putting it out on the table without having the probe, because I mean, I would think the immediate follow-up question would be, well, what type of content do you create?
Right.
So why not just say it up front? So why not say it up front?
Are you just playing games? Is that what it is? Just playing games, just trying to get now, if you're just trying to get fucked on, you ain't trying to get all the details. Then you're trying to, be discreet. Okay, I understand. But if you're looking for something serious, I would think you will, volunteer some of that information. Especially he's not asking nothing. I don't think it's too personal. Just my opinion.
All right, let me comb through some more of this video.
Matching. Have you gone on a date?
Unfortunately, not.
Okay. Why not?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Why not?
Okay. You want to take it out?
You can start.
Oh, okay, let's
Yeah,
start over
please
here.
start.
Well, we made arrangements on Thursday to have brunch on Sunday, and I believe it was set for like 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
And I believe I reached out to her on Saturday to see if she wanted me to send a driver to her. You know, I felt like that'd be nice. So we had reservations at Global Ambassador at 1
nice.
o'clock. So she didn't reply until 12:55 the next day. You know, and she said she was gonna be late and that she had just seen the text and she thought she replied and this, that, and the other. But at that, it was too late.
Okay.
In my eyes.
Okay. Alicia?
Okay, so yeah, we had chit chat throughout the week, and he would ask me like, "Are you busy?" Blah blah blah, and of course, yeah, he sent that text. I'm running out the door, and I didn't answer. Like, I didn't like leave him hanging, but I didn't. I sent him the audio message like, "Hey, I'm gonna be like 5 minutes late. I'm on my way." And then when I go and check, I'm like, "Oh shoot, I didn't text him back." So I'm not gonna say I'm ditzy, but I'm like, "Hey, I'm on my way there." Blah blah blah. So like he said, at 12:55, I'm on my way to the Global Ambassador. His red receipts are on. He reads it. Sees that I'm here. You can hear in the audio message, I'm obviously in my car driving, and he just leaves it on red. So then, mind you, I'm driving, going. I don't live that far. And then I get there, and I'm like, hey, just parked in valet, right? So I'm like driving. I'm not totally on my phone.
Yeah.
I just assumed, like, out of good nature, I got up. I went to work last night, got up, got ready, went, that he was just going to meet me there. Like, we had confirmed the date like 3 times already.
Okay.
I understand that was my fault that I didn't respond to that text. But at this point, we had like 3 confirmations. So I just assumed, maybe that's me, that we were going to show up. And yeah, he left the messages on red, didn't respond. I went, hung out at the restaurant for like 15 minutes and said, gonna pack her up. Yeah, so no show.
So the reservation was for 1 o'clock. You left 12:55. About what time would you say you got there?
Well, I got there probably like 1:05, 1:10.
Okay.
But I hit him up like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'm leaving my house right now. That's when the message was sent at 12:55.
Okay. So was there confirmation prior to, this date?
I mean, yeah.
Like she said, you guys had like.
But like I said, I text on Saturday,
So from Saturday.
It wasn't any.
Okay.
So it was like, nah, if you can't communicate, it's kind of pointless.
Okay, got it. And so you said you did receive the message and you thought you texted him back, but it just didn't go through, or?
I'm just on the way out the door, didn't press send, like rushing.
No, on Saturday when he like sent another.
Yeah, I forgot to respond and had the whole text typed and then sent him an audio message like, hey Siri, send so-and-so a message. Okay. And then I open it because I'm like, oh, he didn't respond. It's like 1:05, I'm on the way. And then I look and then I'm like, okay, I didn't send it. The whole message is typed out, but then everything's getting red. So he's sitting there like watching me say, and I understand what he's saying, like, okay, you didn't confirm, I'm not going to go. That makes sense. Like, I'll give that to you. But I thought it was just silly to leave me on red. You could have just texted me back and been like, oh, girl, I'm not coming. Like, you didn't confirm. I thought that could have just been the respectable thing.
Okay.
Because I thought that was weird that you didn't respond, but you're telling people that I ghosted you in Phoenix. But you didn't respond to the last text. So that's kind of weird.
I mean, you responded a whole day later. So do you really call that responding?
It was less than 24 hours. This is your thing. I think you're very picky about times. That was one of the things. You've been very particular and picky about time, few instances that we had.
Okay.
Just like we had known each other 72 hours. And then remember that phone call we had?
Which one? Go ahead and let everybody else know.
Yeah, we only had one phone call.
Okay.
What happened?
One. I could grab the call.
But it was a few times that I called.
That is inaccurate. You gaslit me on the phone about that.
It was a few times that I
called.
called.
I'll go get the phone. I got the screenshots.
And I got the text messages.
Yeah, we have all the information. So do you want to hash it out?
I mean, if we have to.
I just thought it was weird. Okay, so let's run it back so we could clarify for the audience and for you as well.
Yeah, please.
There had been a phone call, right? Roughly 72 hours. So from the very jump, it was hard to confirm the date of the date from the beginning because you kept saying, I'll let you know tomorrow. And tomorrow came, and then you let me know tomorrow.
But then once Thursday came, I told you I had reservations, and it was set.
Absolutely.
Sunday, 1 o'clock, Global Ambassador.
Okay, but that's not the phone call I'm talking about.
But Thursday, it was set, though. You're talking.
Just so you guys know, that restaurant's a 5-star restaurant. Looks very expensive as well.
Out from when we did the show originally all the way up until Thursday. We went back and forth, kind of trying to
We
figure out
did go back and
about the
forth on the
date or
phone.
whatever. But Thursday came and it was set 1 o'clock. I told you I had the reservation.
That's not what I'm talking about. We went back and forth and why I think you're picky.
Okay,
I
let's
just need,
let's hear about the
we
call.
just don't get along. I think that's what it really comes down to. But
Oh my God! Let me take the first crack at this. This is a classic example of listening to respond rather than listening to comprehend. Unfortunately, there was a lot of breakdown in communication. Yes, we met on the show, we connected, we exchanged numbers, we we text back and forth. Obviously, you know that that gentleman is busy. He owns three separate businesses in two separate states, so he's obviously strapped for time, and he's trying to, curate a date and an experience, right? But he also needs to make sure that he can make that time. So Thursday come, they go back and forth, etc. He says, I got reservations, I got the spot at this time, list, location, etc. This is Thursday. Now that's 3 days in advance, right? And in that time, right, you want to also confirm because things happen. Life be lifing and things happen. You just want to make sure to confirm that nothing has happened and plans haven't changed. That is typically what every responsible adult. Before you go to your doctor's office, they always send you just a reminder. You have an appointment on Friday at 2 o'clock. Can you still keep this appointment? No different. We're just being time conscious because I'm sure he could be somewhere else, or he could be meeting with another client or doing something else. He obviously clearly values his time, and that was communicated from me from the beginning of the video. He's obviously busy. He's obviously time conscious because he doesn't want to go there and waste his time. So you not responding promptly and being, how you say, dipsical, but that's really more of an excuse. The day comes, why not pick up the phone and call rather than text? We have to get out of this texting, thumb thugging culture. Pick up the phone. Hey, my apologies. This happened the other day. And yes, I will be there this Sunday at 1 o'clock at this location. That is the simplest way. You got to wait until you curate a message, then have Siri correct it for you. What are we doing? Are we afraid to really talk to people and really connect with them intimately on the phone and just tell them like, hey, my bad. Like I really meant to reach out. This is what happened. I will certainly be there on Sunday. That didn't happen. He obviously didn't get a confirmation. He didn't show up. He went assuming that he was still going to keep the date, and she was also late at that. Mind you, going back to the time conscious perspective, right? And towards the end, she was trying to gaslight him and bring things up like, "Oh, you're just very picky, or you're very time conscious and stuff like that." This is the classic example of what we were talking about the other night on King Talk. Gentlemen, stop negotiating with these women. Your standard is your standard. Grow a backbone. If you make plans and you make a reservation, keep it. If they're unable to make it, communicate effectively why you can't make it and can we rearrange for another time or date. It is simple as that. Stop negotiating with these women. This is where a lot of you guys go wrong. I would have never negotiated this back and forth and waiting. I'm gonna be no, love. You only get one shot and one opportunity at a first impression. If I made the commitment and the time and put my best foot forward to curate a date, to set everything up, only for you not to effectively communicate, and then you show up late and just say, "Oh, I'm dipsy," like that's not good. You know what I'm saying? That's not a lasting, because what happens is you let that little ripple effect happen and then a little bit more and a little bit more. Then once you get into the crux of the relationship, this thing is a huge issue. And now it shows up in every single facet. And now we're wondering why we're arguing, why we're going back and forth, why we're having problems. Well, clearly she communicated to you in the beginning that she doesn't value or respect your time because she didn't communicate effectively, right? And she clearly doesn't have a good sense of of time management, and she also wasn't even accountable. She didn't even apologize to this incident. So again, it goes down to communication. It's basic fundamentals about trying to make sure that people are in alignment with each other. So are you?
I mean, I agree. I think that the least she could have done was when she saw that the text had not gone through, or at least, hey, I'll see you later on today, like the early morning text. Because I'm gonna tell you this, I know y'all like to have y'all phones connected to you. I may have it on here. Half time I don't even know where my phone is. Okay, so if you call me at night, the night before, it is possible you may not get a response because one, I may be asleep. Two, not even by my phone. That is so possible. But I do have enough to know to say, hey, I look at my phone every morning, right? To make sure I didn't miss, or maybe in the middle of the night. I'm not going to call you in the night because that's just rude, but I may hit you up in the next morning, like, because I'm a morning person. So I may wake up, hey, good morning. I'm looking forward to seeing you this afternoon. I apologize. And then at that point, I would have seen that I missed your text. I'm like, my apologies. Hope we're still on. That wasn't on purpose. And like you said, even make a phone call, because that was a text that I missed, right? So at that point, I have to take the communication a step further and be like, oh my God, call him like, my bad. Now, if he doesn't want to answer my call because I'm missing that would be kind of immature within itself, because not everybody's attached to their phone. But I think that she went wrong by not, contacting him the next morning, or even looking to see, because everybody checks that. People check their phone at some point, right? Even me, especially in the morning. Hey, my apologies.
I think that she was lying. I think that she absolutely ignored this man. I think that she absolutely ignored this man.
Why would she do that though?
I just think that she thinks that she's more than what she is. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm a veteran and I served in the Navy, and I don't know any veteran that acts like that. Now, we have some beautiful women, but she's putting on a facade that she thinks is attractive to men, but it isn't attractive to him. And I think that that's another one of those social media personalities that she's like somehow thinks that men think that that's okay and that's attractive. But I think that she did all of that at the last minute. She totally ignored that man, and she thought he was going to be okay with it, and he wasn't, and he shouldn't have been.
Do you think that that's because of the interest level? Like, she really is not interested in him?
Yeah, she's very superficial. Like, so when I think in the beginning there was a comment where she said, oh, I didn't care, that they thought I was on OnlyFans, because she probably is. Like, she's very much so giving OnlyFans, and we can't ignore that. So that's just
what about her gives OnlyFans though?
Everything.
Like what?
I seen her and she said content creator. I'm saying she's busting it wide open on the internet.
Shut up.
I don't see that. I guess I think of, when I see a content creation, I think of that's called adult content creation. I guess
that heifer's busting it wide.
We don't know that. I don't know that for a fact.
No, we don't. We don't.
Okay.
One thing that we know for sure, and I don't know if anybody else said this, but one thing we know for sure is that Shorty doesn't like dude. She didn't like the guy at all.
Yeah, probably so.
And I would blame the guy for not being real with himself and acknowledging that before he booked this 5-star restaurant. Because if the communication is poor immediately after you guys leave wherever they was at, then that immediately should be a red flag. So why even waste your time with it? So
but it seemed like they were both. They really stressed me out watching that clip. They
were just not compatible. Like that was a no-go. That was
dude definitely looked he looked at uninterested and not only being there, but even just having the conversation. So I'm sure, I can only assume, she probably saw he was tall, whatever. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep my balloon. But then once they started talking, she was like, oh no, I'm not feeling this dude.
But they
and
only had one conversation on the phone. That's the part that
that's
you
what I'm
only had one
saying.
conversation, and then
Sometimes
y'all
that's all you need is one conversation.
Yeah,
But with that one conversation, he went ahead and just booked a reservation without even getting confirmation from her. They hadn't spoken, and then when they do speak, it's I got a reservation for us. Like, okay,
It was just bad altogether. Everything
Yeah.
about that damn relationship was bad.
All right, I'm about to ready to play a little bit more of
Red
this clip, y'all.
flags.
Here we go.
The call was that you had called me roughly, I believe, on Monday, and I didn't answer. You called me around 10 o'clock on Monday. We'd known
10
each other.
p.m.?
Yes,
Okay.
10 p.m. We'd known each other roughly 72 hours. Then we talked the next day, and on the phone, you had told me, well, since you didn't answer my phone call, I didn't know if we were going on the date or not. Like, you're acting like you're my dad or something. Like, I
don't recall that.
Of course you don't.
But I do recall the phone call about, 10 o'clock, but you told me you was free in the evening. So that's why I called that late.
But I didn't say I just thought it was so picky the way that you were on my phone telling me. I felt like it was entitled, to be honest with you, for you to call my phone and talk about when I'm not answering and when I'm answering, and I'd known you for 3 days. I just thought that was rude.
But you still set the date.
Yes, because that was the objective of the show.
But we should have not went on the date if you felt
And
that
thank
way.
God.
Why schedule the date?
On this fine Sunday, thank God that we didn't go on the date. Because I just feel like this was the energy on the phone.
I saved my money.
So you felt like he was coming at your
Thank
throat?
God.
The same way that it's like this energy, it was very back and forth and very petty on the phone. And he's getting snippy on the phone. And I'm like, okay, so are we going to go on the date? That was my response is, okay, so are we going to do it? Are we going to do it? And I do feel like, yes, you're a little snippy. And I didn't appreciate it. But the objective of the show was to go on the date. And it just made me feel a little opportunistic of your objectives, because prior to that, if you want to talk about everything, prior to that, you had sat here and asked me to model for your company. I thought that was rude.
You said you was a content creator.
I didn't say I was a model and that I was going to come model.
But if I'm trying to put money in your pocket, what's wrong with that?
You didn't mention
I wasn't trying to do anything for free, sweetheart.
But
you said you was a content creator. Like, I'm confused.
So when was this asked? When did you ask?
It was damn near at the beginning.
Sunday.
At the beginning.
Right away.
She said she was a content creator.
So we filmed Saturday, and then you asked her Sunday if she wanted to model for your business.
Monday, it was pretty early.
Okay. Yeah, to me, it just really gives like you're opportunistic. Like, that's what it gives. I just feel like 3 strikes you're out. For you, it was just a couple weird interactions. Yeah, you asked me to model. You didn't mention anything about money for you to say.
I did tell you that over the phone, that I
later,
had no problem
but
paying
upon,
you.
may I finish speaking?
Go ahead.
Since you wanted to, like, overtalk me. Is that okay with you? I'm just waiting for my turn to talk.
All right, go ahead.
Thank
and then
you.
we'll let you go right after
I
her.
didn't ever say that I was a model. And then what did I say when you asked me if I wanted to model? I was like, oh, do you want to do a content exchange? Like, you detail my car and I make a video about it? You're sending me screenshots talking about this is what I want. And you did not mention anything about payment upon the initial interaction of asking me to model. So no, I don't work for free. And that's how it came across initially. That's okay for me to say. You didn't mention anything about payment till multiple days later when I was like, hey, that rubbed me the wrong way.
Mm.
And you're like, well, you should have said something. Well, I don't know you, and I don't feel comfortable to sit here and go back and forth with you, knowing you 2 days. That's crazy.
Okay, Ramon, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about guys not being warned, or men shouldn't warn. I would warn a man about a woman like this. This is exactly the reason why men need to be warned. I mean, now, y'all ladies, y'all don't want to be warned about certain things? Okay, I understand. Good luck with that. A man like this, a woman like this needs to be warned. Need to be staying away from a woman. She don't deserve a man like that. She don't. She's not ready for a man who has some type of standards. She's ready for a pushover man, a weak man who she can control and use as a puppet. That's exactly the man she needs. She doesn't need a man with that. The man said time is a big importance to him. The man, obviously, he said, you said something about 3 times. Yes, because his time is money. Now, you as a content creator, she should know that. Being on time, creating your content on time at a certain time, putting it out there, that's important. But to her, I guess it's not. So, like I think Asia said, maybe she is an OnlyFans, because you could come out and put a OnlyFans video any time of day. It doesn't matter. Day or night, somebody gonna go and beat the meat off her to it. So be it, man. Look, this heifer's crazy. She's selfish. She doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? Look, buddy, you saved yourself. You made a mistake by booking her to a 5-star restaurant because she only deserves a cup of coffee. That's all this heifer deserves is a cup of coffee, figure out where her mindset is, and if it's not where you want it to be, move the hell on. She doesn't deserve it. Now, let me tell you what he did do. He left that heifer at the restaurant. He did exactly what I tell people to do. Leave them at the restaurant because they're not worth it. If she acts like it's, moves like it's, operate like it's, yeah. She can't even pick up the phone. You too busy to even pick up the phone. Let you know you late. You already late. You dead wrong. You don't respect this man. You don't respect this time. So you don't respect the man. And then you try to, well, I did call. No, you waited till 5 till to call me and try to do it. I confirmed you before. Why didn't you get back with me then on Saturday night when I sent you the message? You didn't do that. I guess I'm not that important. Maybe you had another man's dick in your mouth at the time. The reason why you couldn't talk. Maybe that's, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there.
Listen, she didn't answer the phone because she's not interested. That's the red flag. That's the only red flag. The red flag is she's just not interested in him. He's not. If she was she was interested in him, at some point he called her twice. She would have answered the phone or even just call him back if she had to miss his phone call. That was the red flag. I mean, that shouldn't have gone any further than that. And then on the part with the model, if he asks you to model, I'm gonna think, well, he knows I'm professional, so he's going to pay me, and I will follow up with that and say, well, how much is this gig charged? Paying. It's certain ways you can say things without assuming. It's just like, again, back to the beginning, lack of communication. What's going? This was doomed from the start. It should have never gotten to the part where he was being nice by setting that appointment up for that restaurant. I don't know why them red flags was hitting him on the forehead like this. He was dodging them motherfuckers.
It was one thing that she said that she had called him.
You know what it is? He got caught up in her beauty. Look, I tell guys all the time, I don't care how big her titties are, how big her ass is. What's going on between her ears? She ain't got shit up in there, but Saul does. Don't deal with them type of women.
I honestly think they were both red flags.
It was one part where she said that she called him an opportunist. And it's like, well, oddly enough, y'all being on that show is opportunity on its own. Like, y'all are literally opportunists in that moment. So that whole.
I think she's the opportunist. That's why she took that date. Thought she was about to get go to a nice restaurant.
Meal. Yep.
I feel this the opposite.
I mean, well, no, both. If you're on that show, you're there as an opportunist. You're taking advantage of the people that's there. Essentially, either you're going to get picked or you're not going to get picked. You're going to find something that you like or you're not. So you're there to literally be an opportunist. So I didn't understand that part, but
that's why I say they both walking red flags. He didn't seem like he had it all the way together too. And she definitely didn't either. So yeah, they, like I said, they stressed me out. Oof, stressed me out watching both of those clips.
All right, let me go ahead and play this last bit.
I ain't got nothing to say.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm good. I ain't gonna do the back and forth.
Okay.
Like I said, I offered her an opportunity. I didn't think that, I had to initiate that, yeah, I'm gonna pay you. In my eyes, it was kind of obvious.
That it was a given.
Yeah, like if you're a content creator I don't ask anybody to do anything for free for me. Nothing. So, it was a given that I was gonna pay you. The amount just wasn't discussed.
Got it. Okay. And then so for you were like, she could have just told you right then and there. She felt some type of way about it instead of hanging on to it.
She did tell me. She did tell me that she felt some type of way about me asking her about the content. And I told her, that she said she was a content creator. So that was the only reason I brought it to her attention. But I also apologized when she told me it made her feel uncomfortable as well.
Okay. So did it make you feel uncomfortable because you felt like that's the only reason he matched with you? Or what about it was like?
Well, to me, it wasn't giving. Like, this is supposed to be a dating show. And then it feels, like I said, opportunistic because you're coming to me for business ventures and you're talking about, yes, my hobbies and what I like to do for business. But I didn't come on here. This isn't The Apprentice. Like, I didn't come on here to work for you and to be your employee. So, yeah, I thought that was rude that you're asking me to work for you and bring friends to model for you too. And this is before the conversation of payment as well. So to think that that's assumed, I think would be silly. Like, I'm an adult. I don't just assume I'm going to go somewhere. Like, I like it to be ironed out. But once again, we're not having deep conversations trying to get to know each other. And we had joked on the phone, like, like we were just kind of like hey, how's it going? What are you doing each other? We were doing that to each other kind of back and forth to death. There was no real like depth of conversation or anything for real.
Okay. So you guys never really got to know each other?
Not really, no.
Okay. Ugh, God,
like I said, it was a few phone calls that I did do, but you know, she didn't answer our call back or text back.
That's not true. How do we have a whole conversation and plan out the date on the phone if I never answer the phone?
Via text.
No, that's not true because
via text, I told you I made reservations for Sunday at 1:00.
You asked me where I wanted to go. I basically halfway planned.
I asked you where you wanted to go, yes.
Because you didn't know. And it was so much back and forth that we couldn't even decide a date and a time. And now it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that you...
But once it was set, what was the problem?
What was the problem? Exactly. I confirmed 3 times. And like I said, maybe I was a little silly to be like, oh, okay, like, we'll just meet there. But yeah, you know what? I didn't text you back in the appropriate amount of time on Saturday. I will look at you right now and say, I apologize. That was my fault. But my objective wasn't to like dog you or play you. But I think that you leaving it on red, you're older than me. So you leaving that text on red, knowing that I went to the restaurant is tacky. And it's like you try to get your lick back. That's how it felt. Like, what was the objective of that? Because if you're a real man, like you could have been like, girl, I'm not coming. Like, you didn't confirm my text. Like, we could have just had a conversation about it. But you did that.
And
you left me on red.
And you could have called instead of texting.
I sent you an audio message like, oh my God, I'm on my way there.
But you could have called. You could have called though, right?
So because I just assumed you were on your way. I didn't know better.
But why would you assume that?
So when she's sending these voice notes with these messages, whatever she's sending, and you're reading them.
I actually didn't read them right at the very moment that she sent them. I read them within, a nice
at 12:55, like you
know
said.
What I'm saying? But yeah, I didn't read it.
So you read it after the fact of the reservation time already passed?
Football, yeah. At that point, I'm just like, I'm watching football. I'm not worried about it. She didn't respond in a timely manner.
Okay, so then after the whole ordeal with, no one, him not showing up to date and, you not replying, did you guys ever talk again after that, or that was it?
No, I blocked him on Instagram. I just felt like it was tacky, and I felt like I said, I felt like he was trying to get his lick back, and we couldn't talk about it as adults, and he saw us at the restaurant at this time. I'm talking like, oh, I'm at valet. Like, I'm here. He's seeing text, and like I said, maybe I'm silly, and I just went like, oh, he's going to meet me there. Just not thinking, you know what I mean? I'm not like maybe using my full capacity of my brain. I'm tired, hurrying up, getting there. Mm-hmm. But it was the fact that, like, he just left me on red like that. I'm just like, okay, I see who you are. I have nothing more to say. Blocked. Mwah. See you later.
Okay. And you didn't try to reach out after that either?
Nah,
you were done with it.
Blocked.
On Instagram.
Yeah. I mean, but you didn't know you were blocked, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you knew because you tried to reach out.
I did.
Oh, on Instagram, but you have my number?
I was blocked on the phone.
No, you're not. You're blocked on Instagram.
Okay. I don't know.
I gave you the room to apologize and if you wanted to hash it out. Not even to apologize, because half of it was my responsibility. Right. But if you wanted to hash it out, you're not blocked. Your number is not blocked. Your Instagram's blocked, though. I was tired of seeing your corny Instagram. Damn.
That's aggressive.
No, I think that's real. Okay. That was one of the things that I didn't like too. We got each other's Instagram. I just don't think we're compatible in a lot of different ways. And I just think like
seeing that play out.
Yeah.
As
blatantly obvious, right? It's crazy.
Oh man. Well, it's unfortunate that it just didn't work out between the two of you.
You can tell you're not compatible based off the Instagram profile.
I wonder how old she is. Did she say her age?
The bar's in hell.
Did she say her age?
Nah, she just.
I don't recall. No.
She seems very immature.
She's childish. She took multiple shots throughout that whole conversation. I mean, again, I know y'all sit there and said shouldn't have warned men about that. I am. Fellas, don't mess with a woman like that. It's a waste of goddamn time.
Yeah, everything that she even just said, even with him asking her to model or whatever and bringing her friends along, like that's, if it was a man that she liked and was interested in, that conversation would have progressed and then got to the point of where we're talking about compensation. But just to shoot it down immediately, maybe she thinks his clothing line is corny, just how she said, or whatever. But that's a normal progression of conversation, especially when you're a content creator. If you're a content creator, you get one of the points is to collab with other content creators to bring in their audience as well to your audience, on top of making whatever money it is that you can make. So all of the signs was there. I don't know how he didn't see it or if he just ignored it. But just like Hink said, fellas, if this wench is not openly and willingly trying to communicate with you, then don't even waste your time, because she's clearly not interested. All she's going to do is end up making content about you, and you damn near going to find yourself on the page with her, or her name dropping you, or whatever the case may be. Just walk away, man. Just it was clear. It's clear. I don't know how he didn't see it. Maybe he don't have other men and standing behind him that's telling them or letting them know. But fellas, yeah, don't deal with a chick like that, regardless of how she looked, man.
And going back to what Hink was saying, so this is a totally different situation than the earlier one. This is an individual who we see how she's acting. She's shown signs. Obviously, if you're talking to your friends and they're telling you, you're hearing all these red flags, of course you're going to tell your friend, like, that's a red flag. No, do not call that girl back. She's not the one for you. That's on individual basis, right? We're not saying don't give people advice on an individual, but when you make a blanket statement like these girls who do this, that's what the other.
No, that's not a blanket statement. If she's not answering your calls,
it was about something we talked about earlier.
Okay.
We were
reflection. Simone, I was here, so I know what you're talking about. But the girl, her mindset, you have women who have her same type mindset. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Guys from her type mindset. Stay away from her type mindset.
Right. So so how would you say that to somebody to address that kind of woman? I want to know, how would you pitch that in general? Or staying away from a woman like that.
So I would show this video as an example. You see this woman right here, and you see women who have that type of mindset, who feel like her shit don't stink. They could be late and still want you to accept whatever they have to offer. No, you don't. You don't have to. Now, she's a nice looking woman, well put together, cool. But it's obvious she ain't got shit between her ears. So why would you deal with her? I tell you, the only time you should deal with her is for 20 goddamn minutes. And then get the hell on.
Oh my goodness.
Shit, you should deal with her. That's going back to what Brown Sugar. Listen, that's the same thing Brown Sugar was saying. Why deal with her? You just messed the whole thing up to myself for 20 minutes. No, if you don't want to deal with her, leave her alone. Don't talk to her at all. Don't even stop giving her the attention, because that's half the problem.
Right.
That's why she got the big head the way she got it.
I agree, because men enable women like her. You guys, there are so many men who enable these women to keep going. And men accept it. They're like, she is good enough. This is what I want. And they hold her to this standard. And then when she gets with someone real, she can't handle that. But it's so many men that just
don't give her no attention. She got too much. That's the problem. A humbling experience is like no attention.
I'm talking to the men. As men, y'all understand what I'm talking about now. These ladies, they defend it because you shouldn't do a woman like that. Why would you do a woman like that?
But you don't understand that you're part of the problem.
Entertaining someone at all.
Let me have this. Let me stand up. Let me down this hill by myself. Y'all don't have to come up here with me. Stay away. I'll be the king of the hill.
Ladies, get out the car, ladies. Get out the car, ladies. Get out the car.
I'm okay with that. It's not safe when you ride on the dog side.
I'm about to jump in that back seat.
But like I said, fellas, y'all know what to do. Give them 20 goddamn minutes. You pump and you dump. You get the hell on. Now, if they think that's the attention they want, they eventually get tired of getting pumped and dumped and try to figure out, why ain't nobody want to be with me seriously? Well, maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's how you move. Maybe it's how you operate. Maybe it's how you think. Maybe it's how you act. And maybe if you act differently, you move differently, you start to think differently, maybe a man will take you serious and maybe even put a ring on your stanky ass. But until you do such, you're going to get pumped and dumped 20 goddamn minutes. They're going to give you a lifesaver and they're going to send your stanky ass up out the door.
So let me just say this. Let me just say this. That what Hink just said is equivalent to me.
You want to come to the dark side?
What Hink just said is equivalent to me. It's like, ladies, they're gonna try to use you. You use them first. Take all their money. Go out to dinner with them,
Literally.
play them. That's the female version of you saying what you're saying, right? And I'm never gonna tell a woman to do that, because I'm gonna tell you this: that's how you block your blessings. You understand me? You do people wrong, that shit will come back to you in another kind of way. So keep on playing. And sometimes it don't come back to you; it come back to your kids. So you gotta watch out. You understand what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. But on the other end, at the end of the day, if he would have played, all what would have happened was she already got in her mind. We already see that she don't like him. She wasn't going to give him nothing. All she was going to do was play him. You understand? So he's sitting here trying to play her on your advice, and he end up getting played because he's sitting here whining and dining her and ain't getting no happy ending. Just getting his pockets dumped. You understand? So you do that. Listen, if you want to get her, listen to what I'm saying, Hank. If you really want to get a person like that, don't give them no attention, because people like that thrive on attention. Women like to be adored. They like attention. That's why the likes and all that stuff mean a lot for women. So if you want to get back at a woman, pay them no mind. Just ignore them.
So again, that's your problem. Yeah.
Listen,
y'all think
I guess you know how women.
No,
I guess you know how women are.
Yes, I do. Look, I was a man whore prior to me being saved and sanctified by the Holy Spirit. I was a man whore. I can admit that. I was wrong out here. I was a heathen out there in the goddamn streets, and I did and knock down whatever. Now I'm changed. I'm married. I moved on. But before, when I was a heathen, when I was in them streets, I did what I had to do. And please believe, she didn't get no 5-star nothing. She got a phone call late at night, knock on the back door. Hopefully her son is asleep, so he don't have to see me sleep out the back door. That's what I'm hoping. You understand what I'm saying? She's not going to no restaurant. We're going to the coffee shop. And if I deem her and I put her in a category of home, that's the category she's gonna stay in. She'll never get out with me. Now, maybe with Vias, he may take out the whole category, but he's gonna keep it there, and I'm gonna keep it there.
He just threw a shot at you, just like that woman was throwing shots at that dude. Get him.
Ladies,
hold on, man. Hey, hold on, man. Hey, slow up, dude. Slow up, dude. Hey, no, but I do agree with Hink to an extent. In your younger years, then yeah, that makes sense. But once you get older, and I would even say, just to even contradict that across the board, man, you are the prize. So if you're wearing yourself thin with wenches out here, then your value goes down, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If this broad, if you know that this broad is a bird brain, but you cracked her and half the other town cracked her, you a bird brain just like the rest of them, to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think I forgot what the saying is, but when you lie with dogs, whatever the rest of it is, you know what I'm saying?
You catch fleas.
You catch fleas. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to find yourself in a position to where you are giving this broad this 20 minutes and you fuck up and crack her raw, and now you stuck with her, or now she burnt you. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case is. To me personally, it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Men, treasure yourself, value yourself, and don't lay up with, you know what I'm saying, with women like that.
Well, not only that, don't be going
let me tell you, Biz, I almost choked on my food.
Not going there naked.
I'm gonna have to get myself down.
It's okay to value yourself, but you are definitely not the prize.
Men are absolutely the prize.
You're not.
Men are the prize.
The relationship is the prize.
Men.
Okay, let's not start this. JR said he got another video. So let's go with that beautiful beat for this one.
Let's go ahead.
We're gonna play this last one, y'all. Here we go.
That triggered you when I said that. That's the problem that she's probably having with you. You probably don't respect differences. You may not experience situations the same as she does, but you can at least acknowledge her experience and her view. I've heard many people say this for a very long time. Society conditions men to be assertive. No, Society has conditioned you all to be aggressive communicators and competitive in your conflict. There's a difference in being assertive and aggressive. Assertive people, assertive communicators completely understand and respect other people's perspectives. They understand, they validate, and they empathize. An aggressive person has a very stuck way of thinking and responding to people. It's all about the focus on them and how they see things or how they would do things. The same way as a competitive person, a person who is competitive in their conflict style, they're very stuck on their experience, their feelings, their thoughts, their opinions, and their perspectives. So this is the reason why you focus solely on your perspective and your experience. Another thing, you've never experienced the same pressures as her. So rightfully, you don't understand, but you can try to understand why she would feel a certain type of way. That's not asking for much. It just takes practice. You haven't experienced the same pressures of safety, expectations, work-life balance. So I understand you don't have enough context through life to help you understand and fully grasp what she's going through. As women, completely different from you as men, we're encouraged to be empathetic beings. We are encouraged to build relationship skills that are going to help us. So since society and your surroundings and the people that you have probably grown up with have not encouraged you to do so, it's your responsibility, if you want to have this relationship or be married, to cultivate those skills to help you. I hope you listened, and I hope this gives you all something to work with. I wish you all the best. Happy, healthy relationships. Bye, babies.
No.
Yeah, I don't even understand what she was saying. What was she?
She was trying to
I
explain
get
the
what she
difference
was
between
saying.
being assertive and being aggressive.
And
And it
Yeah, I
doesn't just
disagree
come
with her.
down to men, and it's not a man versus woman thing because there are definitely women who communicate aggressively as well. I think that's the thing that kind of like makes stuff a little muddy. It's like we try to put men and women against each other.
was she
Um,
directing that at men
oh,
or
it
just
sounded
in
like it.
general?
Yeah, at the beginning, it sounded like there was being.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounded like it was. But so that's why I was saying it's just not a man thing. It's definitely a man and woman thing. But I get exactly what she's saying.
why
I
why do women say that men don't understand what women go through or their experience?
We just tell by what y'all talk.
because
Just stuff
they
much more.
don't. Some of the conversations,
Because the men and women have different life experiences by nature. We don't have the same, life experiences. You guys don't give birth, for instance. Like,
But we're
Yeah, but there's a lot
I think
more.
there's
directly
a lack of
exposed.
understanding. Some men can understand, both genders can, but I think there's sometimes a lack of understanding or a lack of not even wanting or caring to understand.
That's the part. That part.
It's more of a lack of respect and a lack of acknowledgement. That's really what the crux of it. One thing that she said that I don't agree with is that she said society has conditioned men to be, aggressive or assertive, communicators and stuff. I disagree. Like, and this goes back to the conversation we back had on Tuesday. I don't know why it keeps spinning back that way, but it is. A lot of these dudes do not have standards, and a lot of these dudes do not effectively communicate because they don't know what that looks like in a healthy vacuum, right? A lot of these dudes are more conditioned from the outside of culture and nuances of what's happening than what's really influential in their homes. So this idea that dudes are out here communicating aggressively, I say that's maybe true for a small percentage of certain men. I think a lot of dudes are very passive. A lot of dudes are very soft. A lot of dudes don't have backbone. We just finished seeing the Pop the Balloon video. He didn't stand on business. He was like, look, I set this up, and I did this, etc. Stand on business. Don't negotiate the non-negotiable. We talked about standard versus preference. He didn't stand on business, and that was a classic example. So I'm very hard pressed to believe that like dudes are out here being all aggressive and stuff like that. I'm like, no, that's not even true. I think a lot of dudes are trying to appease women and trying to compromise and go against their own standard and their own moral compass in order to acquiesce to a woman's preference or likeness. He was trying to get her to like him by changing and doing all these things. You don't need to do that. If she fucks with you, you don't really got to do anything. Show up as you and the best part of you. She'll see that. If she doesn't fuck with you, let her go. That's somebody else's problem, not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also comes back, like, to circle back to that first topic. I think is when any man or woman, when they get aggressive in their communication, I think it just comes down to a lack of control. They just trying to control the conversation. Um, and that's just, I mean, people feel like when you yell, that's just doing something. Like, you changing my mind because you yelling at me. Like, no. I'm honestly not even listening to you at this point.
So is it a person communicating in conflict aggressively, or is it a person that's just an aggressive communicator? Because I know plenty of people, men and women, that speak aggressively. We can probably all agree that Hink speaks aggressively, but we know that he's not aggressive per se in only a conflicting way, where is always in conflict, where he's now being aggressive. He's just an aggressive communicator. So
But
is
dealing with certain
that not a
people,
difference?
that might be a turn off. Depending on who you're dealing with, they might not like that. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I think you're very funny.
I honestly
Actually.
don't. I don't date aggressive men. I do not get along with them because I am super nice, and I have dated aggressive men, and it doesn't work for me. I don't have anything against them. Like, I have people that I love and they're aggressive men, but I personally cannot date somebody that's aggressive. You do have to, like, be be more nice. I'm not saying be passive, because I did grow up with my dad. Like, you have to be a leader. My dad was a Marine for like 32 years. You know what I mean? So you have to be a leader. And I just feel like but you can't be aggressive, because there's a difference, right? Whenever you run a household and you're the head of your household, like my dad, like you can be a leader, but you don't have to be so aggressive in your tone and aggressive in the way that you come across. I can't date an aggressive man, but some women can. I cannot. That's not my preference.
I just left someone in downtown Chicago not too long ago because he got aggressive with me. Told that man, get out my car. Find your own way home. Just like the whole Hink and the restaurant situation. I'm not dealing with that. You're not going to talk to me any type of way and still think that you're going to have your way with me. No, don't talk to me mean. And I had already had a conversation with him prior to, like, you're mean. Like, you're mean. You're too aggressive when you talk to me. And he did it when we was in person downtown, and even suggested, matter of fact, you could pull over right now. I'll get out the car, baby. All right, I'm pulling over right here. Thank God the police is right there. So yeah, he got out the car and then had the nerve to hit me back up. It's just like, but with going back to what he said, and what is it Louis? You just have to have a backbone. Luis, yeah. You just have to have a backbone, man or woman, because people will try to have you bend and fold with real non-negotiables just because of who they think they are. And it's probably due to who they dealt with in the past.
So y'all want the big bad wolf to speak on his side. Call me aggressive.
We need an example, Hink. Give us an example of this aggression.
I'm not aggressive like that. Not with, especially not with him. Now with another man, I can't.
We know you a teddy bear outside of this. Come on.
But with you tenderfoots, I'm more than like, because I'm not gonna argue with you women, especially the ones who don't belong to me. They not under my. I'm not gonna go back for, because I don't feel like we're not on the same level. So why would I argue with a woman who I don't feel like is on my level? I'm not going to. That's not my style. Now, as far as this video, I don't really know what she was talking about. I didn't know if she was talking about men or women or whatever the case may be, because most of the time, on average, men are not aggressive like that when they have conversation. I mean, I've seen women get aggressive with a man. He still doesn't get aggressive back. Get hit on, and he still act in a calming manner. I was a victim on this show on a Lapeef Sunday, and Shane Modi did not protect me. I was a victim. Not one time did I get aggressive with him. Not one time did I call this or curse this woman out. Not one time. And she called me everything but the child of God. And not one time was I aggressive with her. I handled with kid gloves. Now, yeah, I could have called her, cuss out and did all that, but I didn't. Why? Because I know, like I said, she's beneath me. There's no need to even do that with her. So I don't do that. But it's just about how you handle yourself. Try to keep it in a professional manner. I don't, I'm firm and I stand on what I stand on. I'm not going to move. I said it. No woman's going to ever move me. Ain't nothing you can say a dude going to move me. You could insult me. What does that matter to me? You're not a factor. And I teach men they shouldn't move you like this, especially a woman who doesn't belong to you. Now, if it's your wife, of course, what she could say could hurt you. It's like a gut punch. Someone in your family, your mother, your sister, yeah, okay. But just an average woman, no. So stand on what you stand on. Be a man of your word and hold to it. I know she might not like it. That's fine. If you ask certain questions or interrogate a woman to try to get information so you can learn about it before you make that investment into her, you should. Don't be scared of the answer. Accept the answer. And if you don't like what she has to say, then move on. Don't hang out with her. Don't concern yourself with her no more. You move on. You give her the viz, and viz will save her.
I think the same thing can go for women, though.
Hey, man.
I think that women go for men.
Kenny over there?
Much love, man. Much love, man. You know how we do.
But I think the same thing can go for Black women. Like, I think a lot of Black women go for men that they should not be going with, like that they know are toxic, that they know have these behaviors that, like, the whole I want a thug, or the whole bad boy syndrome that Black women seem to subscribe to. And it's like, you really don't want that. Like, are you sure? So I think that Black women have to make better choices when it comes to the choices that they make in men, because why waste your time? We spend a lot of time.
Bad boy. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't want a bad boy. I'm not a ride or die. If you go to jail, I'm out. Like, I didn't subscribe.
Damn,
I'm like really going to tell on you too. Like, don't date criminals. Like, because I'm going to tell. Like, but I just think I don't subscribe to any of that behavior, and that's another thing that goes back to, like, and I think that Black men are aggressive in most likes because they have to be, right? I know a lot of Black men that are educated and they rough around the edges. That's a little different versus having an aggressive tone and an aggressive disdain towards women. Like, sometimes I get confused and I'm like, so you just don't like women because you have so much disdain towards us. And it's almost like an aggression with the tone when it comes across. Even going on a date, I don't have a problem going Dutch. I sustain my life okay, very well. So I don't have a problem going Dutch. But when you say, hey, we're going to go Dutch, it's not, like they say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So it's how you present that. But you're not finna talk to me for 30 minutes about why you going Dutch in an aggressive tone. Because then I'm going to be like, I'm going to sit this date out. You just lost me with the whole and a lot of these are like that. They listen to these podcasts. They put all this they subscribe to this whole red pill, blue pill. And if you don't subscribe to that, then it just doesn't work. And I'm old fashioned. So, but I will try to be like, if you want to go, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. It might not work. I've left people. Like, I went on a date, I left somebody there. So I understand. Nobody wants to waste anyone's time.
Now, I know that there's a difference between assertiveness and aggression, but I believe that you can have a healthy level of aggression. be it in your job, your career, in your life, relationship, whatever the case may be. I think that if you have a healthy level of it, that can also be deemed as aggression. Now, I know that there's a fine line of that, especially with, like you said, the delivery, the tone, the body language, how much of it is it that you're applying of this aggression. But I think that there is or can be a very healthy level of aggression that most women and men would see as something that's attractive or even relatable.
It's a healthy level though. I agree with that.
Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that as far as with the aggressive part of it.
Like, it's cute when you call me 5 times, but 25, that's
Well, yeah, that's something different.
I don't even want you calling me 5 times. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's something
But
different.
what if I won the lotto and I was trying to give you a piece?
Send me a picture.
You don't gotta call me 5 times. If I don't,
I was gonna say text me.
Because if you calling me 5 times, if I'm not ignoring you, it don't matter if you did win the lottery. I ain't gonna see that message. It's still gonna be 5 times you calling me because the phone is just not by me, unless you just send something in the sky, blip or something. I'm like, oh.
Nah, my phone is definitely by me. So if you call me 5 times, I definitely seen all 5 of those calls, and I definitely ignored them all. And I'm
like Shan. I'm not in my phone all day. I'm just not. But I do prefer calls versus text. And I think somebody said it earlier, like people are just scared to call people and just talk on the phone or even like meet up and just have like face-to-face interactions. Like, why does everything have to be through text? I can't feel your energy. The tone, I might read the tone completely different than what you sent it. Like, it's a lot that can just be misconstrued with text messages. And then a simple conversation will just go over 20 text messages. Like, we could have just had this conversation in 2 minutes and been done with it. So,
yeah, I don't want to talk to you either.
Yeah, Shan is.
You just don't like them. That's really what it is. If you feel too comfortable,
if the phone is gone, that means everything about the phone is gone.
And Shan, I'm gonna call you out too, because there have been plenty of times where we have been on these panels.
That's
and
what
you
I
are,
said. I
and
pointed
you are
that out.
literally in your phone.
I pointed that out. So sometimes I'm on my phone because y'all know I can't see. So sometimes I be in the chat on the phone because I can see, I got the blind people version of the phone on.
Look, man, I'm of the opinion. I'm of the opinion
later that night. And she lied. She responded to that man.
No, but so I do. So set aside. So my phone, I have to find my phone because most of the time we all know JR sends those messages through Instagram, and so the phone is going to be sitting beside me because I done zoomed in to put the thing in the thing, and I just see the phone. So now the phone is beside me. But I'm just saying, when I'm just in my house, not stationed at the table, I don't have my phone on me like that. It'd be somewhere, nowhere. It could be upstairs. It could be. I could have left it in Layla's room. It could have been in the basement. It could be anywhere. And then I usually be like, Layla, can you call my phone? I've not had my phone in a while. Can you, so we can go looking for it? That's what kids
Look,
do.
I'm of the opinion that, when you don't feel, if you feel too comfortable texting people every time, all the time, and that is your mode of communication, you just don't like the person. Because I would think that if you like the person and you've gone to some level of attraction and some level of interest, you will want to hear their voice. You will want to hear what
I want to see you.
You know what I'm saying? But that is the lead up. That is the lead up, right? And
but it don't mean you gotta like it. It just means that you do it because you really want to get to know this guy.
I find that people are way too comfortable doing the bare minimum. And I think that text messaging.
And I agree, because now on holidays, I personally make calls. Don't send me Happy Thanksgiving. So now I'm making the calls. I actually bought 100 Christmas cards. I'm gonna mail them out like old school, because I feel like people actually do not communicate with each other.
You gonna call everybody?
The people I don't want to send out texts.
If you was my friend, like, baby, don't call me.
Damn.
I was officially called.
I love you, dude.
I remember as a child, that's what happened. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want to call them. I don't want to send a text. I feel like if I text you, are we really family? Like I want to call.
Hey,
You know,
don't let these heathens deter you, ma'am. Don't let these heathens deter you. Do the right thing. You look, send them postcards, them Christmas cards.
You have to do what works for you.
The heck with them. They don't care about. They don't care about their family. You care about yours, man.
I'll take that card. I'll even have that card hanging right there where the other card is on my look. I would appreciate that card. Just don't call me.
I think social media has definitely tainted that part of society of what we grew up under, right? You went outside, you talked to people, you engaged with people. But now with social media being what it is, it's easier just to communicate with somebody via text. There are people that I have never met in person on social media, but we damn near like this, you know what I'm saying, type deal. We interact some type of way just via social media. And I think it's a beautiful thing, but also at the same time is devastating, because we now have people that don't know how to communicate. We now have people that don't know how to hold a conversation. So that then I think that is an excuse or a reasoning to why most people won't jump on the phone, because now they're socially awkward. A lot of these kids nowadays cannot hold a conversation if their life depended on it. They don't even know how to look you in the face.
I think it depends on what you do for a living too. I think that a part of my problem is basically what I do for a living. That has me. I talk for a living. I talk to kids all day for 8 hours. Like when I don't want to talk when I get home. You know what I'm saying? So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. You know what I'm saying? And
I think that's just your personality. Because I know plenty of teachers that they can talk all day, all night. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just who they are. I think that's more so your personality, you know, much rather than it being an occupation type of deal.
And I would say this too. I'm more of a, hey, like somebody said, coffee. Hey, let's get together and walk the belt line together. Let's go have coffee. I'll do that. I don't mind that the face-to-face interaction. If you got something to tell me, call me. If you just want to hold the phone and breathe.
Well, yeah, that's different. That's different.
I mean, we have to breathe, obviously, but I'm just saying, do we have to do it together?
But there are kids today who have a better relationship with strangers online who they follow via social media than they actually do with their own parents or siblings. Think about that for a second. The people who bred you, and the people you spent holidays, you know what I'm saying, Christmases, birthdays, anniversaries, etc., who have the best interests at heart, have always been there. You have a least connection and a least level of communication with them versus some stranger who is online, who might be an avatar, might be stolen pictures.
Right.
Who's across the state line. Right? It's just that wow. Did anybody read that article about that young boy who killed himself?
About to say that. I was just
with
about
the
to say
AI
that.
robot.
What happened?
I promise you. I promise you. That is the pendulum beginning to swing the first time. This is not going to be the first or last occurrence. I'm telling you.
What happened?
He fell in love with the AI robot, like online, didn't know it was AI, but built a relationship with this woman, and she convinced him to kill himself so they could die together. And so he committed suicide.
But
and he was young too.
Yeah, he was 14. But the part that I think a lot of people are not paying attention to is that one, the mom had took his phone. So there had to been something going on for a while, you know, in that relationship part for him to even take the phone. Not only between him and the AI, but him and his parents. And then the fact that he found the phone, that he was able to find the phone and also the firearm in order to delete itself in the house while everyone is there. I think that says a lot more about the parenting. I think that we're putting a lot of that on the AI, in which I understand, but that goes back to the parenting of where we, again, going back to the original point of this conversation, where there's no togetherness. There's that we can't come together and just have simple communication and relationships with each other. So instead, little Timmy is in his bedroom, you know what I'm saying, for 12 hours out of the day, and there's no social interaction going on. So for him to even be able to have this relationship or conversation with whoever on the internet, and you don't know what's going on, then that speaks to a much larger problem and issue. And I think that with us not acknowledging that, and that was one of the things that I was really paying attention to during that segment, because I was watching the interview of the mom talking about it. And it was like, well, how did you, one, allow for this to happen, two, allow for this child to find the phone and have access to a gun, and for him to do all of this in the house and you don't even know what's going on? So
You don't even
that
have the
speaks to a much
slightest
bigger
clue.
problem.
So yeah, so like, what would the solution be? I mean, because at 14, he's probably being rebellious. I mean, it's
At 14, that's ninth grade, right? Eighth, ninth grade.
Yeah,
so like, what
it's
would
not
be
great.
a solution as a parent? And I'm like seriously asking. I have a 3-year-old, so like, what
Girl,
would
let
be
me
the
just tell you.
solution? Because this world is so like technology now. Like,
I
what
think
is
it's
the
This
solution?
important.
is the
It's
solution.
important to have a relationship with your kids. It's important for your kids to have a relationship with your family members, with actual human beings, with actually having interactions and being able to conversate and talk to people about difficult things that they may be going through, or whatever the case may be. But that's not the case nowadays.
Well,
Most parents allow for their kids to be raised by the tablets
Yeah,
and YouTube Kids and stuff like that. That's what we see now.
yeah,
so the thing about that is, so basically it was just catfish, but an AI, correct? That's
basically.
basically what it
Well,
was,
so
right?
from the mom said that they think that the kids know that whatever the platform is, the kids know to an extent that it is AI.
What was the platform?
They didn't say. I don't think she
Mm,
said. Which is even crazier, the fact
right.
that you don't put this out for people to give some type of pushback on. There was a and I'm gonna say this and be quiet. There was a video that I seen on Facebook where a mom had mentioned that her son had walked into the room and asked her and told her that he didn't want her to delete herself or some shit like that. So she was confused as to why he would walk into the room crying and saying this to her. So eventually she went and found out that he was watching this program that's on YouTube. And she goes and makes a whole video about it, saying, parents, you need to watch what your kids watching and woo woo and all this, but doesn't even say what the name of the channel is. And it's like, how does that make sense for you to go and make this video, but you don't even tell people
What they need to
what
watch out for.
platform
I
what
guess,
you need
I
to watch
guess,
out
it,
for?
she should do both. She should say what the video, that particular YouTube is, but also just putting it out there, period, because people can block that one out, go open another one and do the same thing, or it could be other ones just like it, and you're so focused on that one that you're missing the other ones just like it. So just understand that these types of things are out there in general, and you should always be, because some people be putting earphones on their kids, and their kids be, no, if you're going to be doing something, I need to be able to hear it, because if it's something that I don't agree with, nope, inappropriate, nope, that ain't what we doing, nope, you got to always listen out to, for stuff like that. Luckily, my daughter is not the type of kid who like to be on her by herself. She will be under me like this. Like she got to touch me. So I see everything because she got to touch me.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
My daughter, let me stop.
You done, Shimon? That's why I didn't want to interrupt.
Stop calling me that. Shan Monet, aka Shantae. So we got another Shantae on the panel.
So my bit of advice for you, Ms. Brown. Look, I can't stand helicopter parents, but I understand why they like this because of situations like we're talking about now. So I kind of understand why they. I understand the concept. Let me say that much. But I think like Via says, you got to make sure you constantly communicate with your kids. There's no privacy. I don't believe in privacy for no child. No, I don't believe there's no privacy. You in my home, there's no privacy for you. So if that means I just walk in your door without knocking, I can do that because it's my home, my house. I make the house payments. I pay the bill. So I can walk in any room I want to. There is no privacy. Now, if it's my daughter, I'm going to give you a little knock and I walk straight in. Please believe I'm coming. Ain't nothing you going to do to stop me. No, that bullshit.
Lord Jesus, make sure the child got some pants, something on. Grandma roll, Dad.
I got you. You ain't got shit that I ain't never seen. So I'm coming through that door. Get ready. I'm coming through that door. And I want to know, I'm sitting down there. Look, with my son, I sit down there and pay attention to what he watching. Do what you watching on TV. He used to watch shit. Some motherfucker on social media just eat. Why the hell are you watching this bullshit? Why the hell you just watch somebody just eat all the goddamn time? I said, don't you try this bullshit. And you go in my goddamn refrigerator, eat all my food because you want to shoot a video. That's bullshit. Another thing he will watch somebody else play Madden. I said, dude, you got the game. You download. I paid for this shit. Why are you watching some other person play the video game? You could do it your damn self.
Did he continue to watch those videos? Like even after you called it out, did he continue to watch those videos? Or
now he continues to watch people play other video games. Now he does watch somebody eat no more because I guess he outgrown that. I acknowledge how crazy it was, but no, he doesn't still do that now. But I'm just saying you have to make sure you involve yourself in the situation. Another thing is you have to evaluate your kids' friends because their biggest influence are going to be the peers, not you as a parent. You think, oh, well, no, that bullshit. Their peers are going to be a bigger influence than you are because they're going to spend more time with them than they will with you. You get 24 hours a day. 8 of them more than likely are sleeping. They spend 8 hours. You spend 8 hours at work. They spend 8 hours at school. And so by the time they come home, you can maybe get 2 hours with them, maybe 3. And don't let them be in any extracurricular activities. Now you're cutting that 3 into maybe an hour and a half because they still got to do their homework and they still got to go take a shower and go to bed. You understand what I'm saying? So make sure you evaluate your kids' friends. Know them, find out who they are, find out who their parents are, know all the things about. I wouldn't let my son spend a night with them unless you're a relative. He didn't spend a night with you. Yeah. He wasn't unless you're a relative. Yeah. Now they could come over and spend a night with you, but you're not going over there. Now some people say, "Well, why would you do?" Because I don't trust everybody.
Exactly. I was just having that conversation with my mama like last week or like 2 weeks ago. Like, I understand why you didn't let me spend a night at people's house. Like, I get it now, just because I'm older and because I'm a parent myself. But I actually see the world for what it is. And so, yeah, thank you.
And let me say this too. And for parenting, 2 things that I want to add to Hink's list. Sometimes it's easy for other kids to talk to other adults that you trust in, right? So you know, maybe it's an auntie or maybe it's a friend of yours who has a kid the same age, and you just feel and then that person comes and tells you, and y'all think the same like value. You know, that person's have your kids' best interests at heart. That's one thing. And 2, y'all need to stop being enemies with these teachers. You need to be close to these teachers because guess what? These teachers know all your kids' business. We know why your kid got an attitude. We know why everything that has changed. If your kid comes home a different person, something happened in them 4 walls at school. 9 out of 10, just like he said, is that friend group. Maybe she got a boyfriend, he got a girlfriend, and they probably not good for him. There's going to be a changed behavior. We're going to see it first.
Shannon, don't forget the part that these kids are telling and gossiping to all their teachers about what's going on in their home, about
and sometimes
about their parents' relationship, their marriage, the new guy that came in.
And sometimes that person that your kid confides in that I was telling you about, that could be a friend, could be a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like if you trust that teacher, and that person's like, your kid may come home like, oh, this is my favorite teacher. Find out why that person is your child's favorite teacher, because that's the person you need to be talking to, because more than likely your kid is talking to that person, and they'll be able to tell you, hopefully, if it's anything like me, if it's a red flag, I'm going to let the parent know it's a red flag. But sometimes those notes together can bring up a red flag, meaning if they're displaying something at home and it's not here, but it's not quite a red flag, but if you put them together, they are a red flag. That's something to be thinking. I don't know if that made sense, but that's something that you should be considered,
Yeah, you gotta make sure that they not taking down his hair in school and shit.
I had a kid who committed suicide last year who was in my classroom.
What?
In school?
No, she committed it at home, but she displayed signs in class, right? And then we had another kid. This happens all the time, y'all. I know it's crazy. We had another kid we saved from committing suicide the year, maybe 3 years before that. She had a B, her first B, and she tried to hang herself with her honor cord on a day when no kids was there. So she was trying to do it for real, for real. It just so happened.
You said her first D, like
her first B as in boy.
Oh.
And she received her first B, and she was supposed to be graduating. And it was our teacher day. And just so happened, some overachieving teachers, all that I call them, stayed late. And they were in the hallway talking, and they heard something. And I guess she had just went to the teacher to find out what her grade was. And school was not in session. This was a teacher work day. So fortunately, those teachers were there and they heard it, and the young lady was able to be saved and got help. But those things happen all the time. Yeah.
Well, another thing is ask your kids questions where they have to elaborate and speak. Don't be the one that lecture to them. Listen to them. That's another thing is a lot of parents don't listen. They lecture more than they listen.
They do.
And so when you force the kids to have the conversation, now you're going to really show you their personality. Now they're going to talk, and you're going to what type of things they like to talk about or even have conversation about. Just listen. What's your favorite subject? Why do you like that subject? And just ask those type of questions. So it's forcing them to give you answers and not just answers like that. You know what I'm saying? So put you in that situation can really help you.
Okay. You guys see me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm back, man. I was in where I was starting to pack up and
it is 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock on the dot. Well, here in Atlanta it is.
JR, you thought you got to get you a hotel or something?
No, I was about to go to Starbucks or something, man. I had some work I needed to do. But catacombs, it's not weird. It's normal at this point. Modern women have devalued themselves so much, we have to ask. Blame your sisters. Champ Talk Reaction says it's because of Endo, who do the P word, are considered content creators also. Why not specify up front and get it out the way? Champ Talk Reactions says those who do the P word. Coco says, hey, y'all, tailgating in ATL. Wanted to say hi. What's going on, Miss Chanel? Catacombs picking up the phone is they lost art. Ray Alexander. How does an attractive, financially established woman let a man that's interested in dating her know that he is not in her lane? He can't maintain the upper tier lifestyle she has as an MD, JD, or MBA. Harrison Davis. 499 says, salute. Big Bama 44. We taking applications for the dark side. JS Torres says, don't date an aggressive guy, but also won't date a nice guy. Shaking my head. These women.
I hear people say that. People date nice guys.
Right.
New University says, remember, most folks can't take what they dish out.
Amen.
New University says, a lot of great points. Aggression is defensiveness. Ian 11 says, he can stop lying, bro. You a player.
Ain't no play.
You probably see the savior that stop letting technology raise your kids.
Yeah.
Screen time, be more involved. Stop being a lazy parent. Simple. And lastly, Jazz Wisman, Shamona, was the kid Asian or African?
I wasn't there when that kid did it, but I'm willing to believe just because of the class that the kid was in that they were I'm not probably possibly African or of Indian Asia.
Okay.
Just because of the demographics of my school.
Saying I don't believe that you date nice guys though. I think that you.
I love nice guys. All of my guys are. Every guy I know is nice. What are you talking about? I mean,
really? Yeah, I think that you'll run over a nice guy. You probably run them guys over.
Men like to run over me. I'm so nice and so compromising. What are you talking about? I'm the nice one here.
I can see that, Shan.
Just said that.
I'm with you, Shan.
Me run over?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Come on. Oh my God, Viz, you got your little hair done and you trying to act on.
Yeah, we believe you. We were still back in Alabama. Ever since you relocated to the it's a whole.
You got your little hair did.
You got your little hair did.
Acted different.
Little.
We see you, Viz. He like, yeah, I did.
Right.
Oh, you see me? Did you go to the beauty salon?
No, hell no.
Viz went to the beauty salon.
No, not on this one.
I was gonna say, if you know my man Gooch heard about you going to the beauty salon, it's over on Tuesday.
Yeah, I ain't worried about dude.
All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of here. I want to thank Shan Monet. Jay was having some computer issues and crashed on him. But thank you, Shan Monet. Aisha Hink. Susie, thank you for coming through. I know it's your first time. Hopefully you had a lovely time. Hope to see you back. Miss Viz, Brown Sugar, Luis. And we out. Thank y'all. Hit that like button. Also, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Go Bears.
Or something.
Yeah.